Switzerland all in red, Cameroon in the green and gold. The green shirts and shorts with the golden socks. And in terms of key battles where this match will be won and lost, you can't help but have your eyes drawn to both goalkeepers. We've mentioned Jan Sommer as he was a fitness doubt for Switzerland, but Andre Onana, absolutely outstanding for Cameroon. Such a big player for them. He's worked his way back into the side at Inter Milan this season as well. Currently number one, former Ajax player as well, was with Barcelona as a youngster. And these are two goalkeepers of the very highest quality, and again that could be decisive in this game.
Yeah, just be careful of that though. Actually very noticeable, sun straight in Sommer's eyes at the moment. We've not seen that before. We need to watch out for that.
So we are underway in this opening match between Switzerland and Cameroon. Switzerland, it is in possession, playing from left to right as Cameroon clear the ball away from their own penalty area. The man in the middle, incidentally, who's got us underway, Facundo Teo of Argentina. He is the one who sent off 10 players in Argentina's Champions Trophy final between Boca Juniors and Racing Club earlier this month. I don't think he'll have as busy afternoon as, I mean, if he does, again, it's another story for the ages from
to be fair, I watched it. I went back and watched it to see what had actually happened. A lot of them happened afterwards and things like that. And to be honest, the players were easily as much to blame, in fact more to blame than the referee that time.
Well, he'll be hoping for a much quieter afternoon as Switzerland have started brightly. They've won a corner down on this near side, and it will be Xherdan Shaqiri, the former Liverpool man, who comes over to take. The red shirts dotted around the edge of the 6-yard box in the Cameroon penalty area, and Switzerland with this early set piece, and it's flicked on inside the box, cleared away by Cameroon at the second time of asking, just up to the halfway line. But Switzerland's already starting brightly. Switzerland, who have reached the knockout stages at their last 4 major tournaments, reached the last 16 at 3 of the last 4 World Cups, and Onana having to be very quickly off his line there to clear away from the on-rushing Bril Mbolo for Switzerland, who pick it up in the centre circle with Jibril. So
very noticeable that Cameroon side, they're very keen to go long quickly, getting the ball up to Choupo-Moting up there, trying to get players around him early on. And Bomo, he's trying to get near him. It's not actually quite happened yet, but it's early on in the game, and you can see it's actually one style I've not seen in this World Cup yet. A long, not all long ball, but going direct.
So Cameroon pick up position, play the ball back to Onana, who spreads it out to the right hand side, and the Brentford man Bryan Mbeumo making his World Cup debut after switching allegiance from France in August. Switzerland pick up possession just inside their own half. It was Samuel Eto'o, the Cameroonian legend, who's currently the president of the Cameroon FA, who flew to London personally to convince Mbeumo to switch allegiance to the country where his father was born. And they also, Mbeumo says, talked about striking. He just wanted to get some advice from one of the legends of the game.
You would.
Exactly. Why not take the opportunity? Switzerland in possession. We'll run you through the lineups in a moment, but it's been a confident, a compact start from the Swiss. 3 minutes gone on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. They win a throw over on the far side. So Switzerland with Sommer in goal. The back four of Widmer, Akanji, Elvedi and Rodriguez. Ahead of them it's Freuler and Xhaka, the captain, with Shaqiri, So and Vargas supporting Mbolo up front. And it's Mbolo who plays it out to this right-hand side, and Shaqiri plays the ball in. It's well charged down by Noho for Cameroon, and Switzerland have it back in the centre circle. So Onana in goal for Cameroon. The back four of Faye, Castelletta, Nkulu and Noho. Ahead of them, it's Ongla, Umgwet and Ongisa, with Mbeumo, Toko Ekambi, who scored that last gasp extra time winner in the playoff against Algeria to take them through on away goals, supporting Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, the captain, up front. Switzerland still in possession, just inside their own half, and Cameroon so far settled back into their shape, closing down those gaps, trying to stop Switzerland from progressing down either wing, and that is why Switzerland are all the way back once more in their own half. Pat Nevin.
It looks like a game of the way it started that Switzerland may have more of the possession, but that's neither here nor there. I'll tell you what I was going to tell you in a moment, and it's about Shaqiri. In fact, I wish I'd have told you beforehand, because the battle between Noho and Shaqiri is going to be really, really important today. I've watched them 2 or 3 minutes into the game, and every time the ball goes near Shaqiri, Noho is sprinting right towards him, and he's getting within inches of him. And that time, even before I could get the words out, he tackled him with a big slide tackle. They've been told, don't give Shaqiri an inch.
Yeah, they know how dangerous he is as Mbolo is challenged. It comes to Shaqiri, first time ball in, left-footed miscue from Cameroon in the back line from Castelletto, but it bounces all the way through to Onana. And he will just take his time, dressed all in purple, the Cameroon number 1. And we're 0-0 with 5 minutes played on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service.
Yep, it's always great to be able to talk around the world. That battle we're talking about before Noho, something will happen. I know it's early in the game, but something will happen between them two, right? and I don't know who's going to win it, but Noho is so hyped up. We've seen that in a couple of players already in the games that we've been to already in this World Cup. There's 1 or 2 players, you just notice them earlier on and think, right, you're a bit wired. you're still absolutely hyper about this. You've been thinking about this every night for 4 years. Noho seems like one of them.
Switzerland with the throw on this near side, midway through their own half, up to Mbolo, who is dispossessed, and Cameroon will win the set piece as well. Free kick to Cameroon midway through Switzerland's half, just about level with that edge of the penalty area, and a first chance for Jan Sommer to prove that he can deal with these balls into the edge of the box.
Again, look at his his shadow behind him. If they can go and put that in there, it's coming straight out of the sun. They're a big side, the Cameroon side. I mean, well done Switzerland. What they're doing is they're playing a very, very high line here, so it should give Sommer a lot of space. But if I was a player taking this, I would doll it up in front of him as if to say, can you see this, and attack it.
So Cameroon have 2 players over this free kick, and Mbumo and Toko Akambi. It is Mbumo to swing it in left-footed. It's cleared away by Switzerland, sent forward once more by Cameroon. Switzerland are appealing for the offside, and indeed the flag does go up on the far side, and it's a free kick to Switzerland, which is taken quickly by their goalkeeper Jan Sommer. Such a big player for them to have available for this World Cup. Mark Chapman was joking about it earlier, but Switzerland are one of the teams that have named 4 goalkeepers in the squad, but to be fair to them, 2 of them had ankle injuries coming into this tournament, so you can understand why.
I thought you were going to go for the other cliche there. I'm looking for a team that are not dark horses at this point in time, because Switzerland obviously are another one that you can say that about.
Cameroon pick up the ball just outside their own penalty area with Castelletto, as Rigobert Song stands on the edge of his technical area. What a legend of Cameroon he is, the former captain, their record appearance maker, former Liverpool and West Ham defender of course as well, back in the late 90s and early 2000s, and a former teammate of course of Samuel Eto'o, who is now the president of the Cameroon Football Federation. Cameroon have lost possession, Switzerland have it just outside the centre circle. 0-0 as the ball is played down the right hand side to Vidma. Good sliding challenge from Nuhu, and Pat Nevin to my right, you are smiling.
Oh, I'm laughing away. Every tackle's a slider, every tackle's everything into it. We know. The thing is, it's such a dangerous thing to do, because you only have to get it slightly wrong and you'll be yellow carded, and there'll be no more slide tackles.
So far he's got it right, Nuhu, and Cameroon have won possession. They've given it away though. Here is So, lays it off to Freuler, and now Granit Xhaka of Arsenal with the captain's armband for Switzerland plays it out to the left hand side, headed away by Cameroon up towards the halfway line. Will be helped on by Elvedi, the Swiss centre half, and Switzerland play it forward, but Castelletto is there. The ball's gone out of play on the far side anyway, and Cameroon have a throw. 0-0.
They're just trying to kind of feel each other's styles out, aren't they? It's not really settled down much. Very direct from Cameroon, not a lot happening in midfield. As you rightly said, after about 1 minute, they're closing down. That's what they're doing. It seems like I mean, Anguissa's probably the best at it there, but they're all trying to give no space whatsoever for the Swiss to get their heads up and play those passes. But at the moment, there's not been a great deal of sophistication to the game.
Ball over the top from Switzerland is dealt with very calmly by No Hope. He's everywhere at the moment, just drifted into that central position there, knew that Shaqiri was right on his shoulder, and calmly back he goes to Andre Onana.
Yeah, and just looking at, Onana, he's got the ball there, he's almost wanting the Swiss to close him down so that he can play it long beyond them. But the Swiss aren't for a high press at the moment, are they? Well, as I say that, they are.
And Cameroon are playing around it. Ball forward looking for Mpumu, could be in behind here. Mpumu into the penalty area, ball across goal, parried away by Sommer. Metz on the volley. And what a chance it was for Toko Ekambi. He's fired it over the bar. Well, he scored such a huge goal for Cameroon as they qualified for this World Cup. Last gasp. And he really should, on the counter, have put Cameroon ahead against Switzerland there. What a chance.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many good things about that move. Comes from the left by Urman, Noho again. But then the ball goes down the left-hand side. They could have cut it into the centre. Choupo-Moting was waiting in there, never did that, but it got a rebound back out from nowhere. They broke brilliantly, Cameroon, so that seems to be their game plan at the moment.
Switzerland try and come forward. The ball will be intercepted on the edge of the penalty area, and Cameroon will bring it forward once more with Ongla. Now laid off out to the left-hand side, and Noho in field now as Cameroon just enjoy a little spell of possession. There is Toko Ekambi. What a chance it was for the man who's been in decent form for Cameroon this year. Scored 5 goals at the Africa Cup of Nations at the start of 2022, and as we say, that late extra time winner against Algeria, that secured Cameroon the place here at the World Cup. Switzerland's win back possession just inside their own half. They had dominated the possession, but it's someone who's made the only save, although Onana might be called into action here. Well defended by Cameroon on the edge of their own penalty area. Noho steers it away. Here is Choupo-Moting, the captain, but he loses out, so we'll bring it forward for Switzerland. And now here is Granit Xhaka, who'll go from range. Well, we know he can hit it, and this time he hits it over.
Well, he seems annoyed, but he often does. But I don't know what he's annoyed about there. He's kind of shouting the ball, and I didn't see any deflection or anything like that. What was intriguing about that, now, brilliant break earlier on. Now, Toko Ekambi will be disappointed he didn't get his shot on target, but he'll be not disappointed at all to know that he has now got the run and the pace of both the players playing in front of him. He gave them 3 or 4 yards and he tore away from them, so he'll be looking for balls over the top. And if I were his marker, Widmer, I'd be leaving a couple of yards.
12 minutes gone on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the World Service. 0-0 between Switzerland and Cameroon as Switzerland pick up possession just outside the centre circle. Nice little interchange of passes between So and Xhaka. Switzerland look to build down the left-hand side. Cameroon standing up well with 5. Ball into the area was a decent one though, just ahead of Mbolo, and Cameroon will bring it out of their own box. But what a wicked delivery that was from the left-hand side. They picked it up once more. Switzerland and Mbolo into the area. Was he barged over there? He's gone down. He's appealing the flags up on this near side anyway for offside.
But that would have been an interesting call, wouldn't it have? Yeah, it was offside. I mean, pretty clearly offside when the ball was played through from Shaqiri. But there was no attempt at the ball there. That was just a shove. I mean, had that not been offside, I think that would have been given as a penalty. However, it's a big if. It was given. Beginning to liven up a little bit now. Beginning to see little chances, little gaps beginning to show. And Shaqiri, he's not done a huge amount of running around, but he's got some quality when he's on the ball, hasn't he?
Very much so. Still the top assist maker for Chicago Fire this season. The former Liverpool Stoke man, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, of course, as well. And still such a huge player for Switzerland. You have it at the back with Sommer out on this right hand side. Now goes Widmer over the halfway line. The right back will drive, being pursued by Toko Ekambi. He's back there defending and does well, wins it into changes passes with no hope. Cameroon will send it up towards halfway. The header was initially won, but it's picked up now by Choupo-Moting, and Cameroon are in behind again. Choupo-Moting, good save by Sommer. Was there a little push in the back? The flag's up anyway now for offside. Over on the far side, well, it was Manchester City's Manuel Akanji getting back there. To be fair, there wasn't much of an appeal from Choupo-Moting. Sommer stood tall and made the save, but that's the second time Cameroon have got in behind the Swiss back line, and still it's 0-0.
On the left-hand side, Akanji, to be honest, and days gone, but by the way, he has given it for a free kick when the ball was won originally by Choupo-Moting. I think he's suggesting studs up. I didn't see anything wrong with that at all. The referee's got that one wrong. So that would have been a real call had he scored with it, but good pace getting in there. But that was actually very good from Akanji. When he got back, he had a couple of yards that he had to make up on him. Well, a bit of a nudge, put him off the shot.
Two big chances for Cameroon, but Switzerland coming forward. Shaqiri's ball into the area is deflected and will go behind for a Switzerland corner. And as you say, Pat Nevin, it's just starting to open up.
Yeah, just like the weather around here is warming up nicely at the moment. And it looks like one of those games. There's such different styles. You know, we're so used to watching, particularly Premier League games. Everyone plays out from the back. Everyone plays their goalkeepers and the centre backs. And the Cameroons are holding no truck with that. If there's anyone near them, they're lobbing it forward. And do you know what? It's almost worked for them twice.
Well, they've got that pace in behind. They've used it so far to good effect, but it's still 0-0. Switzerland with this corner headed away on the corner of the 6-yard box and up towards Toko Ekambi, who loses out and will be picked up by Shaqiri down the right-hand side. Here is Ruben Vargas, who's come over to this right-hand side after the corner, but Switzerland have lost it and Cameroon can come forward once more. Here is Toko Ekambi down this left-hand side, which is where, as Pat Nevins pointed out, all of Cameroon's attacks have come so far, and they've come to good effect. Choupo-Moting ushered away from the penalty area, and Switzerland will bring the ball clear with Granit Xhaka.
I feel a wee bit sorry for him. Boom over there. Everything is coming down the left. He finds himself in loads and loads of space in the right wing there. And it's as if you're not part of our gang. We're going down the left all the time. And they've got to try and split it a little bit. Sometimes give him an opportunity to run at his defender. But they're very, very weighted. I'm beginning to wonder if there's a slope in this pitch going from one side to the other.
Well, we'll find out in the second half as Vargas comes down the left-hand side for Switzerland, looking to build once more. 0-0 with Cameroon. Good interception in the centre of the pitch by Ongisa, and Nguet will play it out to the right-hand side for Cameroon. And now Mbomo of Brentford, on his World Cup debut, gets a chance to try and show what he can do down the right-hand side, but at the moment Switzerland have Cameroon penned inside their own half. They now do clear up towards halfway, and Choupo-Moting, who tumbles on the edge of the centre circle, and Switzerland will pick it up with Akanji.
Yeah, they're that long ball again, but if it works, just use it. And Choupo-Moting, he's fighting and battling everything, and he's against two very good centre backs. I mean, that's one area where the Swiss are very, very strong, but I think Choupo-Moting would back himself against anyone at the moment. Yeah,
in unbelievable form at the moment. Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting, 11 goals in his last 10 games for club and country. When you think back to that spell he had at Stoke, 5 goals and 30 Premier League appearances in that one season with them. He's being linked with a Premier League move again, and such is his form for Bayern Munich.
Honestly, I can't believe the player that I watched then is the player I'm not watching now, because he just didn't look as if he had anything near the quality to get where he's got. So well done him to make sure that he improved.
18 minutes played, 0-0 between Switzerland and Cameroon, as Switzerland have it with Freuler on the right hand side, just inside the Cameroon half. Here is Granit Xhaka now, sees the run over on that far side as Switzerland look to build. Vargas will collect it just down by the byline, pulls it back across once more as the cross is whipped in. Freuler will head it as Switzerland are forced out of the penalty area. Widmer had made the run, Xhaka spotted him, but just a little bit too much on it. And the ball is behind for a Cameroon goal kick.
That was a really good chance. I mean, Xhaka, he's played the right ball. He sees the ball that's on. He's just not been able to play it in the right position there. And it's one of those ones, as a player, you say, well, you've missed that by a couple of yards. You put a little bit too much weight on it. You probably shouldn't have done that, because there was plenty of time. There was plenty of space. You could have calmly played it into an area you could have tacked, but that was more of a chance than it looked up. pursuing, but without exploding into action. There are chances beginning to be created at either side.
Onana in possession for Cameroon, the goalkeeper just outside his own penalty area. We're talking about surprise revivals and Choupo-Moting, Granit Xhaka. I mean, that story's been going on for a while at Arsenal, but again this season, I mean, the turnaround he's had there, it's just still remarkable as Cameroon pick it up just on the edge of their own penalty area and Onana will clear away.
It's one of those ones you want to go to Twitter and look at everyone who said at Arsenal, get them sacked. People that said that at the time. I don't think they necessarily all feel that way now. No, he's been great, and it's been about him as well. He's had to show an improvement in attitude in a lot of things, and he has consistently done that over the last little while.
Yeah, and Arteta's so key to that as well.
Exactly.
That rehabilitation and revitalisation of Granit Xhaka at Arsenal. Cameroon in possession over on this near side with Toko Ekambi, who holds onto the ball despite the close attentions of three red Switzerland shirts, and they play the ball out to the right hand side, and Nguet in midfield for Cameroon. Forward now to Mbeumo, who will play it back once more. Now Nguet plays it over the top, looking for Choupo-Moting, and Jan Sommer has enough time there just to take the ball down with one of those bright orange boots and roll it out very casually to Manuel Akanji.
Yeah, and now that the Swiss know, wait a minute, Sommer was close there, wasn't he?
Very risky there from Switzerland. The tempo had just dropped out of the game, and that's fine if you're in control, but Switzerland weren't there. Sommer had to lift it to his teammates, and Switzerland rather fortunate to get away with that as they win a free kick on the halfway line.
It was closing down, good closing down by Mbeumo. He's noticed that Sommer's got the ball at his feet. They've still not asked the question yet, have they? They've not put a cross in there to say, look, you've got the sunny eyes, they're a big pair from side, particularly the centre backs. They've not been able to do that yet, and they should try and do that at some point in time. Just before we go in much further, watching the game play just now, Anguissa just looks like a class apart from just about any other player in this field just now. He is dominant, controlling, calm on the ball. He's a class act out there.
Switzerland in possession with Granit Xhaka, plays it out to Rodriguez on the left-hand side, and now Vargas, ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Nguet, and will be brought down calmly by Fai to clear up towards halfway. Yes, Frank Anguissa, another one of those that again has gone from strength to strength since leaving the Premier League. Napoli is who he is excelling for at the moment. 3 goals, 6 assists for them. Not a bad return for a defensive midfielder, but having an absolutely outstanding season for them after leaving Fulham.
And you can see the confidence in his play. Every single ball that comes to him, he believes he's got it under control. He's dragging players towards him, and he's bringing his teammates in all the time. He's had a very, very good start to this. I was going to say game, but competition, I suppose.
Ball is all the way through into the Cameroon penalty area to Onana midway through the first half. Here on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service.
If we're talking about Africa, we're doing my World Service show later today, and Seb Basson is on with us as well. I think he'll be interested in this game.
There we go, do tune into that as well. Pat Navin with us here through the afternoon and through the World Cup on the BBC as Nguet under pressure clears away up towards halfway. Choupo-Moting just gets something on the header, but there's no green shirt there to receive it, and Nico Alveri will pick it up for Switzerland, who go all the way back into the centre circle with Manuel Akanji.
Very interesting, this Shaqiri. Look where he's picking the ball up now. He's at right back now. He doesn't fancy that tackling. He's just falling further and further off it. It's kind of why you look at him, because Shaqiri sometimes does that. He's such a good player. But if you go and, how do you put this subtly, give him a few strong tackles.
Here is some space now for Anguissa out to the right hand side, and Mbeumo into the penalty area. Switzerland trying to stop him. He's still going, riding the challengers, pulls it back to Anguissa, edge of the penalty area. Now is Toko Ekambi inside the box. Switzerland getting the red shirts back. Noho plays the ball in, deflection off Vidma behind for the Cameroon corner.
Can they get it to Mbeumo a wee bit more often? He gets the ball and he looks fantastic for it. We know he's a quality player, but his pace, his confidence, he's just been brought into the game there. This whole stadium lifted, absolutely lifted when he got the ball there. And it's interesting to see the Cameroon are playing a lot of long balls early on. Do you know what, if only they could actually play a little bit more through the centre area. Yeah, I've got real quality in the wide areas. Anyway, that was one of the best moves of the game.
I think it might be as well what you touched on before. Everything's come down the left, so as soon as he gets it on the right, and Boomer thinks, right, here I go.
Got to do something.
Here's a reminder that actually the right wing does exist as well in this game, and I'm on it. And it will be Mbumo to swing the corner in. Oh, it was a good delivery as well, looking for Castelletto, who just misses it. Cameroon will recycle from the right-hand side. Sommer wasn't sure. Switzerland get ahead on it and send it out of the penalty area. Vargas will collect it, and Switzerland should and are able to clear up towards halfway.
I just wonder, that sort of moment there, it seemed to change something in the Cameroon players. A bit of confidence, a bit more confidence about, you know, playing it with each other. And I wonder if that'll change the way the game is, because at the moment, you know, I'm talking a lot about Cameroon, but more of the ball has been held by Switzerland, but not in a particularly exciting way, you know, not in an inventive way. Whereas when Cameroon get it, they'll have less of the possession, I'm guessing, but they'll look more dangerous with it. And that break there, I just wonder if they start using both sides, they can stretch this Swiss defence.
They're looking to stretch it down the right-hand side with Mbumo once more. It's well covered by Elvedi all the way back to Sommer. Yes, you look at the way that Brel Mbolo started for Switzerland, the 25-year-old who was born in Cameroon but moved to Switzerland as a child and declared his allegiance to that country as a teenager. Lively first 5 minutes or so, but then we barely mentioned him, and that is a debate for Switzerland. Who takes this position up front? And Bolo's got it today, but they have Haris Seferovic, another player who was a regular for them at the Euros last summer. But it's been a bit of a debate in the Swiss camp as Cameroon come down the left-hand side. Once again, Toko Akambi trying to trick his way into the penalty area, pulls it back to the edge of the box. Option for Ongla to shoot, but he'll play it out to the right-hand side as Cameroon do let fly from the edge of the box, and it's rather wasted from Collins Fye. He had Mbumo on the overlap there, could have used him, and it was always going to have to be pretty special from there. But again, Cameroon down this left-hand side, and we've mentioned how well Mbumo's done in those glimpses on the right, but they're getting so much space with Toko Akambi.
Yeah, I'm sure there are a few Swiss out there who said, go on, shoot, because the way he approached it, you thought, you're just a bit excitable here. There was no shot on there. There was no chance he was going to score for that. That was a wasted opportunity.
Switzerland looking to come down the other end. Cameroon do well to get a foot in on the edge of their own penalty area from Castelletto, who clears out. Yes, Collins Fye as well. He's never scored for Cameroon. He's got over 50 caps for them. So if it is a player that's going to be trying his luck from there, you would rather it was Toko Akambi or Choupo-Moting.
Well, the fact that Choupo-Moting was in the middle, they're trying to get it wide so they can give him a cross. That was a perfect opportunity, and I'm sure, well, I'm not guessing, I know Choupo-Moting was absolutely furious that ball wasn't put in there for him to attack.
So goal kick to Cameroon as Switzerland can't make anything of that latest attack. 0-0 here on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service. Coming up later for you today on the BBC, 3 further matches from this World Cup. Uruguay against South Korea, that's at 1 o'clock UK time. Portugal, Ghana follows that, and Brazil, Serbia, our evening game. Switzerland with the throw on the halfway line. Ricardo Rodriguez just told by our referee to make sure that he doesn't steal too many yards. He obliges, and Nkulu will clear the ball away for Cameroon. Flicked on once again. Shaqiri is in there. It's brought down calmly though by Ongisa, who will send it back to Fye. And he had a look, made sure that Mbolo wasn't quite running into the penalty area at speed. Goes all the way back to Onana, who sends the ball over the halfway line, and that bounces through to Jan Sommer, and it's Choupo-Moting's turn to just have a little word with the attackers around him for Cameroon.
Yeah, what he does, if he goes and wins the ball, he's up against 2 centre-backs. Now, he actually didn't jump there, he just used his physical strength and got the little nod on, but nobody gambled. And he's saying, well, come on, if I'm going to win the ball, I get 2 players here. It's like, you've got to gamble now and again, and he didn't do it there. And once again, it's a long ball, it's not complicated, is it? You know, but Choupo-Moting is so strong in that area. By the way, there's a free kick being given here.
Yep, Collins Fye on Vargas, and as clear a free kick, I think, Paris will see.
Oddly enough, he got the ball, but he also got the player. So it's a free kick, but nothing more than that.
Yeah, a bit of a swipe from Fye, and we play on Switzerland in possession over on the far side. 0-0 as Rodriguez sends the ball into the area, cleared away by Cameroon, and will be picked up. Little 1-2, nice 1-2 by Ongisa, who's driving over the halfway line. Lays it off now to Toko Akambi. Ongisa's continued his run down the left wing for now. Even Ongisa in central midfield is thinking, well, I might as well go down the left. We're getting so much joy there. It's Cameroon. Now switch it to the right with Fai. Ahead of him is Mbumo of Brentford. Plays it in field. Nice little 1-2 with Choupo-Moting. Played in. This is a lovely move by Cameroon. Sommer spills the effort from Ongla, and it's cleared away before Toko Akambi can follow up into the net. Well, it's Cameroon looking by far the more dangerous side at the moment. They have another corner, and really Rigobert Song down there on the touchline, he's got his head in one hand at the moment because he knows that so easily they could be ahead in this match.
Yeah, they're growing into it. It's just they're slowly but surely growing into it. I just thought at the start of the game they're just one-dimensional, but you can feel the belief coming, and it's coming down the wings. And I mentioned Anguissa as well. They look very, very dangerous every single time Toko Akambi or Mbumo gets the ball.
And it is Toko Akambi and Mbumo over this corner. This is their set-piece routine. These two players go. Mbumo it is, he plays it in. It's cleared away by Switzerland. Will be picked up once more by Cameroon. The cross driven in by Castelletto. He's still up from the corner. Cleared away by Switzerland, who will now try and bring it down the left-hand side, but Colin Spy will allow that ball to run out. And we have to say, you know, Jan, we've mentioned it a couple of times, Pat, but Jan Sommer there holding that glove in front of his hand. It is difficult with the sun there, and I think the frustration for Switzerland is because the shade is creeping across this pitch. I think by the time we come out for the second half, that goal, at least the 6-yard box section and probably the entire penalty area will be covered in shade.
Yeah, I wish we had a goalkeeper in the studio at half time. We could ask him what he should do about that. Oh, we have.
Rob Green, look forward to hearing your thoughts as Cameroon come down the left-hand side with Noho, and here is Ongla, who's the latest to break into the penalty area for Cameroon a couple of moments ago, and Ongla will play it forward once more to Ongisa, who's beginning just to drive forward more. The Napoli man, he's not sitting so much as he does in that centre of midfield in front of the back four, and that's because Cameroon are in the ascendancy. They're in control at the moment. They're looking far the more dangerous of the sides, but it is still 0-0. Just over half an hour played. Out to the right-hand side. Fai and Mbumo work it between them. Lovely skill from Mbumo. He is eventually stopped by the Switzerland back line and Elvedi, but shown some lovely footwork, the Brentford man, on his World Cup debut. And now Toko Akambi lays it off to the left-hand side, and Noho. Toko Akambi just taking up a slightly more inverted position at the moment and leaving Noho out on that left-hand side as Cameroon work it back once more with Ungwet just outside the centre circle. 0-0 here on 5 Live BBC Sounds and across Africa on the World Services. Cameroon play the ball into the area, and Mbumo is in there. It's cleared away by Elvedi. Rodriguez will help it up towards Mbolo, but Switzerland at the moment can't get out of their half. At the moment, I think they'll be happy just to have a bit of a spell of possession, and they've worked that well. Here is So. Haven't seen much of him in the last 10 minutes or so, but he's advancing towards the Cameroon penalty area. Here is Vargas out on this right-hand side, and Vidma pulls the ball across. Oh, that was so close for So. He came steaming in on the edge of the 6-yard box, can't make contact. It's cleared away by Cameroon, goes out for a Switzerland throw right in front of the Cameroon boss, Rigobert Song. That was much, much better from Switzerland, and it's the quality of the delivery.
And that's what Cameroon were doing to Switzerland at the start. And then they fell back a little bit. The Cameroon team get very excited for a little while, pushed on a little bit more. You mentioned Anguissa is getting excitable and going a little bit further forward, left massive gaps there, easy overlap. Vidmer gets into the correct position there, puts it back into the right area. Cameroon are just basically lucky there that it didn't fall to a red shot.
Yes, So inches away from getting his first goal for Switzerland. He scored a couple of times for Eintracht Frankfurt this season, but for all Cameroon's good chances and for all Sommer's saves, some of them good, some of them not so good, they could have found themselves behind there. 12 minutes to play in this first half, and we're still goalless as Mbolo comes forward once more. Left-hand side of the penalty area. It's being well marshalled by Nkulu. The ball is swung in from the left-hand side, and Anana spreads out two arms and says that is going all the way behind, and he's right.
Not the best at all. And I mean, Shaqiri is one of those players, isn't he? You know the quality's there, but it can be a bit infuriating because, you know, he's not going to run around a huge amount. He can be pushed out of the play a bit if you're physical with him. You talked about the first few tackles on him, and I thought, I don't think he fancies that. Well, he's switched wings now. It's gone over the other side. I suspect he's going to get the usual reception over there as well, to be honest.
Yeah, up against Collins Fye now, the Cameroon right back, rather than Noho, the left back for Cameroon. And it's Cameroon who are racing down this right hand side once again. Ball into the penalty area. Toko Ekambi was in there, and the sliding challenge was very well won to stop him in his tracks, and Switzerland can clear away. But another slight heart in mouth moment there. Vidmer had to get that absolutely spot on, and in the opinion of the referee he did, and we have to say Toko Ekambi didn't appeal for anything as Switzerland win a free kick over on the far side.
In the most simplest terms, Rodriguez, I mean, he has got nowhere near the pace of the man he's marking, not even close to it, so he's going to have to rethink his game there. Vidmer on the other side, he's not got the pace of Toko Ekambi either, but he's been quite clever. He's pushing him the other way, and he ended up getting that cross just a few minutes ago. Really interesting battles in those two areas of the field at the moment.
Yeah, the wide areas at the moment are what is dictating the balance of this match, as Switzerland try and use their wide right area with Vidmen, and now Vargas, who's come over to this right with Shaqiri on the left for now. Song standing there, gesturing, organising his team as Switzerland lose possession just outside the D. Freuler dispossessed, and Collins Fye will try and bring it forward for Cameroon. Nico Elvedi gets there first, and Fye has just caught him slightly late there, trying to burst down that right hand side, and he's the first player into the book this afternoon.
The only surprise, it's Fye and not his mate Noho over the other side, because you expected either one of them. They're a bit rash. They are a wee bit rash, a bit over keen. It's a silly free kick to give away there because he's not getting the ball. You know, he's not actually he's not committed himself early, so he could have just let the ball roll out. You've got to say Elvedi was clever there, took a little bit of a hit, and that's a yellow card. And yellow cards this early from a rash player are very, very dangerous. That could be a massive point in the game as we go on.
Switzerland in possession just inside their own half. Yes, certainly in this match, and also in the tournament as well. You don't want to pick up silly ones, because 2 yellows in separate games gives you a one-match ban. They're wiped after the quarter-finals, so nobody would miss the final by being booked in the semi-final. That's the objective of that, but still it's one of those where you don't want to be picking them up unnecessarily, but it was one of those occasions where Cameroon were trying to counter, and Collins Fye clearly thought that he could get there. He couldn't. Elvedi did, and we play on the Cameroon in possession. Now Shaqiri's come off the pitch temporarily. He's back on now, so Switzerland's back up to their full complement of players, and he's come back on this right hand side. And Cameroon in possession on the halfway line. Didn't see why Shaqiri went off there. Didn't seem to be too much of an issue. He's certainly moving freely, so whatever the issue was, he's sorted it out. And it is 0-0 here on 5 Live BBC Sounds and across Africa on the BBC World Service, as Ongla plays it out to the left hand side, and Noho, he's well marshalled away from the penalty area though. Back to Ongla once more, and he will go all the way back to Ungwet, and Cameroon will play it across the halfway line with Castelletto. Forward now to Fye, looking for Mbumo out in the sunshine over on that far side. He's muscled out of it by Ricardo Rodriguez. Not too easy to muscle Brian Mbumo out of it, but he did.
Well, he certainly, it looked as if his shirt was pulled back. Certainly the Cameroon fans feel that. It was right down in the corner, right beside all the Swiss fans. But no, he's got back up there. By the way, I think Shaqiri's problem was his boots. He changed his boots there down in the corner. So he's. I love that. That makes me sound very, very intelligent. When in actual fact, it was John Southall here that told me. You know, I'll own up to it.
Producer number 1. Thanks, John. Yes, Shaqiri looking to try and make something for Switzerland, as Xhaka will jump in the penalty area. The ball goes over his head, and it is behind for a Cameroon goal kick. Still 0-0. Huge day coming up for you across the BBC tomorrow, all starting at 6 a.m. here on 5 Live. England and Wales both in action. England against the USA, Wales against Iran. Coverage throughout the day. As we say, build-up starting in 5 Live breakfast. And Anna with the ball for Cameroon inside his own penalty area.
It's got a wee bit of an early morning feel to it, this game, hasn't it? Shall we run up to that? There are moments that have been exciting, but they have very much, for the most part, cancelled each other out. However, here's a chance.
Switzerland have stolen it. They're into the penalty area, left-hand side. And Bolo it was who was challenged. It's a very good challenge in the end. And Castelletto is getting the congratulations of his teammates because he got that absolutely spot on. And Bolo racing towards the 6-yard box. And Castelletto gets the blocking, gets the foot in, concedes the corner.
Do you know what there? That's really interesting. Bolo was much more interested in trying to get a penalty kick than get a shot off. He threw his right boot out trying to initiate the contact. He lost the chance there, so he got a corner. He didn't deserve that.
Switzerland corner, and the header is just wide. What a chance that was. It was the centre half coming in, Nico Elvedi. Decent set-piece chance for Switzerland, and we've talked about that delivery. When it comes from the wide areas, it's dangerous. When it comes from the set pieces, it's dangerous. He had the green shirts in front of him. They did enough to put him off, but really should have got it on target. Yeah,
well, that is the big deal about it. I mean, it looks like a clean header, but you're right. He's got his marker, who's actually, to be fair, holding him, but I mean, and probably in a kind of fair way, you know, because he's getting his body in the way. He's getting very close to him indeed. And that's why he couldn't get any purchase on it, or enough purchase on it to change the direction. But one of the best chances that the Swiss have had, they've come and gone, you know, every 3 or 4 minutes there's been a chance, usually for either side. It's hard at this point in time to see who's actually ahead or on top. You know, it's pretty close to 50-50. I'd maybe say Cameroon just slightly shading it, but there's very little in it.
Cameroon it is, in possession on the halfway line, played out to the right hand side. Nice little 1-2 as they look to build once more. Early ball in, it's going to fall to Choupo-Moting, who shoots, and Elvedi, who had made the initial clearance, gets up quickly, makes the block as well. Very good defending from the Swiss centre half. It's a Cameroon corner.
Honestly, if I'm the Swiss manager, I'm looking out there and I'm looking at my bench and thinking, have I got a left fullback who can run? Really run? Because you're not getting anywhere close now. Every time the ball's going out there, they're not even doing anything complicated, just putting it behind him, and he's getting nowhere near, not just Mbuma, but anyone who rings beyond him. It's causing all sorts of problems for the Swiss there.
So approaching half-time, Cameroon with this corner, still looking for the breakthrough. Cleared away by Mbolo, who wins the header on the edge of his own 6-yard box for Switzerland. Comes out to Noho on this left-hand side as Cameroon exchange passes. You have 5 Switzerland's substitutes actually standing on the edge of the touchline right behind the camera. Maybe they're thinking, hey, send corner me on, I'll try down the left-hand side. As Noho is prevented from playing in the cross, Ongisa will pick it up for Cameroon and play it back to Toko Ekambi, who has been one of the standout performers for Cameroon in this first half, as they work it out to the right-hand side, and Faye exchanges passes with Mbumo of Brentford, and now Faye will play it forward to the edge of the penalty area where Ongla will chest it down on the corner of the box. It's intercepted by Switzerland, and Rodriguez can play it up towards halfway. Headed one by Cameroon. Switzerland just not quite at it in terms of clearing their lines at the moment, as Widmer does well to usher that back to Jan Sommer, but they're just half a second off the pace on too many occasions in this match, Switzerland.
Yeah, you do see teams like that sometimes. They're well organised, you know, everybody seems to work together. At the moment, there's nothing standing out. The expectation, if something special is going to happen, you'd think maybe Xhaka, maybe Shaqiri, but no one else is really looking like it, doing something special just now. I'll give maybe a little call out to Widmer, who down this right-hand side has got forward a few times, but you know, apart from that, it's looking a bit flat, really. The Swiss really quite flat. Are you allowed to say that about Switzerland? It's flat.
Cameroon in possession inside their own penalty area. Yeah, you say it has an early morning feel, Pat. You're right in that. It is approaching almost 2 o'clock here in Qatar, and we're still 0-0. 2 minutes to play in this first half between Cameroon and Switzerland. It has been a really up and down 2022 for Switzerland. They've lost 5 of 9 matches in the calendar year, but got some excellent wins. They've beaten Spain, they've beaten Portugal, they've beaten the Czech Republic, but they did lose their final friendly before the World Cup 2-0 to Ghana, who were the lowest ranked side at this competition last week. It's been so up and down from them, but we know from the Euros last summer, when they get going, they can go deep into tournaments. But
I also looked at the team they put out against Ghana. That wasn't Switzerland.
Yeah, fair point.
That was the B team. And they also played a very unusual system that day. They had the 3. Honestly, it was all over the place, that system. So that's the right time to take a chance, see what you've got. But it didn't seem to work against Ghana.
Onana plays it forward for Cameroon, headed away by Elvedi. Switzerland won't retain possession though, and here is the tall figure of Ongisa out to the left-hand side, and Toko Akambi will play it back to Noho as we approach added time at the end of this first half. 0-0 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service. Uruguay against South Korea to come, followed by Portugal up against Ghana, and Brazil taking on Serbia. 4 matches a day at the World Cup, and coverage of all World Cup games throughout the tournament on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, as Alvedi clears away inside his own penalty area for Switzerland. It's flicked forward by Vargas, who's gone back over to that left-hand side. Shaqiri's come back over to the right, but we barely mentioned Shaqiri in the last 15 minutes or so. Might mention him here because Switzerland are coming forwards, laid off by Mbolo, and now so Shaqiri is an option on this right-hand side. Here he is, lays it off to Vidmer on the overlap. Early ball in, and Mbolo is in there, wins the header. It's poor. It's miscued clearance away though by Umguet, under not too much pressure after Mbolo had failed to control that initial header, and it's gone out for a Switzerland corner.
I'm with you in that one. Back post, he gets to it, and that was in the last seconds of the handball before the 2 minutes added time. But he's got up early enough. I suspect he got up too early, and that's why he didn't get any purchase at the back post. So yeah, Mbolo, I wonder if he will come out for the second half. Well, if he scores here, he probably will.
Yep, Seferovic, I think, on the bench will be thinking, go on, Murat Yakin, give me a go, as the header is just wide as the corner comes in from Akanji. And again, that's the second time in this half where Switzerland have sent in a set-piece delivery. They've had a headed opportunity, and that was a better one for Akanji, just doesn't get the purchase on it. And now there's the inquest in the Cameroon back line. Andre Onana is absolutely furious, the goalkeeper, and I'm sure he's saying, Pat, we're nearly at half-time, we've had a good half, how dare you almost let Switzerland get ahead there.
Do you know, watching it, the Danes the other day, very, very similar. Just trying almost playing for set pieces, be it corners, be it free kicks in areas where they could get Eriksson on the ball and put in those dangerous balls. To be honest, that was a good ball in it. It was a tough one for the goalkeeper to come out for. And I think in Akanji and Elvedi, they have got 2 very, very powerful defenders who can come and really attack the ball. But you're absolutely right. It looks the most likely area that Switzerland are going to score at the moment.
Will Cameroon fashion a final chance in added time here though? Here is Choupo-Moting, plays it back to Ongisa, and he is brought down, and they will have a free kick. Well, Switzerland have thumped the ball clear, but Ongisa, deemed to have been fouled there, gets a shake of the hand from his teammate Martin Ongla, and from a set-piece chance for Switzerland at one end to a set-piece chance for Cameroon right at the end of this first half from the other. It's midway through the Switzerland half, shade nearer to the penalty area than the halfway line, just about level with that left line of the penalty box.
Well, the last time they had a free kick from roughly this area, they made a right mess of it, didn't give it enough air, couldn't attack it. The goalkeeper still in an area. If you put it to that back post, it's going to be very, very difficult for him to see it coming out of that area. So, ask him the question.
Yeah, really challenging this for Jan Sommer, because the 6-yard box is half in sun, half in shade. He's standing just in the sunshine as Toko Akambi places straight through. And it's one of those, I was about to say, oh, what a waste. It was. But even then, Jan Sommer, he wasn't quite sure, was he, as the whistle goes for half-time?
He had a little double look at it when he caught it. Now, that's a ball straight down his throat, really, and he can't see the phrase, but he double-checked it and he's made sure of it. And he's got it right, but he needed somebody running across the line of that ball there. It was the right ball put in, but no one ran across the line of it. And, we've got 0-0. I think it's a little bit of a shame, because this game probably just about deserves a goal. It's not been one of the greatest games ever, but there are 2 teams that are very well matched.
Yeah, a real contest this one. We've seen some very dangerous attacking play from Cameroon, notably from Toko Ekambi. And Mbeumo when he's got involved down the right-hand side. Switzerland, though, have had some good chances from set pieces. What will the second half hold? We will find out in around 15 minutes' time. But at half-time, it's Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0.
Good play from both until it comes to finishing, really.
There is that, yeah, absolutely there is that. I feel a wee bit sorry though, because watching Choupo-Moting, he does take up really good positions, and sometimes they're a little bit slow in getting the ball in there for him to attack. He's held the ball up really well. He really is a nuisance and a pest up there. He's very powerful. He's got two incredibly quick wide players that should be able to get balls in there. So you know where the problems are. They're going to cause problems. But you're right, the real quality balls in and finding your striker, they've just not been able to do that, the Cameroon team. And the Swiss, I think they should bring on Shaqiri. Oh, he is on, sorry. He just, honestly, he's taken no part about in this game. And I talked about in the first minute, saying the defender comes up to him and says, right, I'm going to give you a hard tackle here, see if you fancy it. I think he knows the answer. It's really, it's actually quite frustrating because he's brilliant. And he's got real quality, but he just waltzes through the game and doesn't really do anything.
Goalless then in our first game of 4 today between Cameroon and Switzerland. We're going to talk Brazil during half-time, but first of all at 10 to 11, here's Nick Hatfield.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Thanks, Mark. Good morning. Figures show that 500,000 more people came to the UK than left in the year to June, the highest on record. The Office for National Statistics says the increase is partly because of the travel sector opening up after the pandemic, a new immigration system and the arrival of Ukrainian refugees. Scotland's first national teachers' strike in 4 decades is taking place. Only a handful of schools in Orkney and Shetland are open. Across the UK, university lecturers are also holding the first of 3 days of industrial action. Both disputes are over pay. Billy Early is a student at the University of Sussex, and she says the action is unfair on them.
We are paying customers and we keep not getting the service that we're paying for. It's been like that since 2018. In any other business model, that wouldn't be seen as okay. So I don't understand why it's seen as okay in this scenario. And secondly, the lecturers are meant to be there to guide us through our educational experience. And when they choose to go on strike, they choose to not be there for us. And it's a bit of a kick in the teeth, really.
The Housing Secretary, Michael Gove, says tens of thousands of homes are not in a good state. The government has halted funding for a housing association in Rochdale because it failed to deal with mould that led to the death of a 2-year-old boy. The price cap on average energy bills is going up from January, but it won't affect what you pay. The regulator Ofgem has announced it's raising the maximum to £4,279. But because of the government's energy price guarantee, payments won't go up. The Metropolitan Police says it will contact about 70,000 people in the UK who've been victims of a huge phone scam. Officers have arrested a man in East London who's suspected of running the con, which involved pretending to be from a bank and getting security information. And plane passengers could, in the next couple of years, be able to keep their liquids and laptops inside their hand luggage while going through airport security. The BBC has been told the government is considering rolling out 3D scanners by 2024.
This is a public service announcement.
Weekdays from 2.
It's time for Scott Mills on Radio 2.
Would you mind doing me a quick review?
You're doing brilliant. I'm enjoying you on Radio 2.
You're a very nice man.
Thank you very much. Every time this comes on Radio 2, I turn it right up.
The heads go in, the shoulders go in. I'm like bouncing around on the seat. Probably one of the world's most embarrassing mums because of your show.
Scott Mills on Radio 2.
Tell all your friends on that school run to turn Radio 2 on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Scott Mills all the way.
Weekdays from 2.
Listen live on BBC Sound.
BBC 5 Live.
The FIFA World Cup. Qatar 2022. With Mark Chapman.
Definitely think Radio 2 are trolling us. Switzerland 0, Cameroon 0 at half-time in the first of 4 games today. The final one today, kicking off at 7 o'clock UK time, is Brazil against Serbia, and that is actually the last of all the first round of World Cup games. Emma Saunders has been to Brazil's team hotel.
So 24 hours to go then until one of the tournament favourites kicks off their campaign. So we've nipped around the corner to flavour some of the excitement outside the Brazil Hotel, which really is a bit of a slice of Copacabana here in the Middle East. The perimeter of the hotel is lined with palm trees. There's a huge bright blue pool glittering in the central courtyard. And above us, what looks and sounds, I imagine you can hear it as well, to be an open air beach bar, which really comes alive at night. It's all lit up, yellow, greens, blues of Brazil, pumping out South American party anthems. So still 24 hours to go, by the way, until their first match, but the party has started. Anyone who's anyone connected to the team is milling around the hotel. We've just had Gabriel Martinelli's dad come past us. Joining us now, as we understand it, the Brazilian equivalent of our very own Mark Chapman, leading the Brazil coverage on global TV. We have presenter Felipe Andrioli. Hello, welcome.
Hey, Emma, welcome.
So,
thank you.
24 hours to go then. I mean, you've been here all day, haven't you? So give us a flavour of the excitement that's building.
Yes, I guess it's been a long time since Brazil arrived in a World Cup as favorite like this. So there's a big, everybody is looking at it, and Brazil will only debut in the last day. So a lot of energy that the supporters are here like crazy waiting for this moment, and some underdogs winning, so we know all eyes are looking for Brazil, for England, for Spain, and well, you know, Brazilians are always looking for the cup. There's no other good results, so a lot of pressure as well.
Yeah, you mentioned crazy supporters there. Coincidentally, walking past now, let's bring him in, shall we? Would you like to introduce a special guest?
Yes, Tomer is one of the most famous supporters from Brazil. He was like the Mimi of 2018, and he lived in Russia just because of this Mimi. Right. He became a Russian. He can speak Russian if you don't believe, but he can speak Russian.
So a Brazil fan on the global stage, and I must say, just the most wonderful outfit. It's a yellow and green striped Brazil top. Also, yeah, what's this? The Viking hat in the Brazil colours. Toma, tell us how excited you are, how confident you are for Brazil in this tournament.
I don't want to talk, but I will show you how confident am I. Look at this.
Okay, for the benefit of our listeners, there is a tattoo of the World Cup on Toma's thigh.
With the space here to 2022. And you thought that I've realized in Russia, you don't know. Yesterday, after the Argentina, Saudi Arabia, I am viral in Saudi Arabia as well. I swear. So I don't know. Maybe it's in my blood, being the World Cup. I am a part of it. I'm really proud to be one of the most famous fans in the world. And I love football, most because of the fan, less because of the game, most because of the atmosphere, of the feeling of belonging. And wait, because Brazil will win the 6th star. Vamos!
You're off to a party tonight, aren't you?
Yes, I was invited for a dinner in this hotel, the Brazilian squad team hotel, no, but not with them. It was with fan leaders from different countries. Yeah. So a celebration, a confraternization. Because it's the first main event after the pandemics, you know, after COVID. So we are anxious for it. Because, you know, the Olympics was like a dance with your sister, you know, it's not such exciting. And now we are back, fans from the entire world.
Okay, well, we'll let you go.
Come on.
We've now got more Brazilian fans coming in. One of them dressed as a Brazilian superhero in Brazilian lycra and a yellow cape draping down, a yellow hat. Who have we got here? Hello.
Hello, how are you? Brazil will win this World Cup.
Confidence is fine. Toma, we'll let you go to the party. You may go to the ball, but thank you for speaking to us and enjoy the World Cup. And hopefully you'll be at a tattoo shop in the very near future.
I hope so as well. I wish luck to England team as well. Harry Kane is a good striker. Maybe.
Are you worried about potentially playing England?
About what? About whom? England? No, I'm kidding. It's we need to respect. It's the biggest league in the world. It's the most difficult league in the world. But I really trust on my team. Beijo e vai meu Brasil brasileiro, caralho!
Felipe, to wrap up, I almost feel sorry for Tite. The squad is so strong. Who are the ones to watch other than the obvious Neymar, etc., etc.? Gabriel Martinelli's dad just walked past. Do you think he's going to play a part in this tournament?
Since we have now 26 players and it's so hot here, probably we will see a lot of players coming from the bench playing. We have more substitutions now, so for sure the whole team can be used a little more, and we have like 9 offensive players. Anyone can play. Rodrigo, Martinelli. In Brazil, they were sorry because Gabriel from Flamengo wasn't here, but we have a tough team, and Neymar always carried kind of in his back the responsibility, and now we have like more talented players to share the ball, to play. Watch for Paquetá. He's in amazing moment. He can play a little more defensive, constructing the...
Well, we've seen him in the Premier League a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, now he's in West Ham. Yeah. So watch out for Paquetá. He can play in many places of the midfield. As Neymar, we're used to see him holding the ball. Now he's a little bit like a midfielder, passing for the strikers. I think his best version for the World Cup. So we are very optimistic. Yeah. We are kind of like, oh my God, we're so optimistic, something's wrong, you know?
Well, we've seen there's been some shocking results, but you know in England we have a phrase, it's coming home.
Yes.
Is that the feeling in Brazil? Is the World Cup coming home after 20 years?
All the World Cups, that's the feeling, it's coming home. It doesn't matter, even when we're not good, it's coming home, but it's been a while that's not coming home, huh?
Okay, well, enjoy the next 24 hours, enjoy the game, but for tonight, enjoy the party.
Thank you. I'm not going to the party, I'm just going to stay here and work. The supporters party, we work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Emma Saunders outside the Brazil team hotel last night. Brazil not the only South American side in action today at the World Cup. Our next game in a couple of hours' time, so 1 o'clock kickoff in the UK, 4 o'clock here in Qatar, is Uruguay against South Korea. And a bit like Denmark yesterday, the phrase dark horses has been used a lot to describe Uruguay, hasn't it? Maz Faruqi, who'll be our commentator for this one.
Hello, Mark. Yeah, excellent sort of blend of youth and experience, Uruguay, and I think people are very excited to see what they might do in this tournament. Diego Alonso has taken over at the beginning of the year to ensure that they got through to the 2022 FIFA World Cup, and there are some great names, of course, down the years, but strikers who could appear at their 4th World Cup in Luis Suarez and Edison Cavani. We've got Diego Godin as well. Really interesting to see whether Cavani does start. He really has only managed to play 1 full 90 minutes this season for Valencia since he left Manchester United at the end of last season. Suarez, though, and Godin going back to play their club football in South America, all with an eye on getting themselves ready for this World Cup. This is their swan song, so they're preparing with one eye really firmly on this.
Rob Green is with us as well. Pablo Zabaleta was sitting where you are yesterday, and he was on an off-air conversation about Uruguay. He said the thing with Uruguay fans, very small country, 3 million people, Uruguay fans, they don't complain about senior players still being part of the squad. They don't say they are over the hill, why have they not been moved on, when talking about Suarez or Cavani or Diego Godin as well. They're more than happy for them to still be playing.
When they're that good, yeah. And when they've got a pool of players, which clearly from that amount of people is going to be so small. So you've got to take what you can when you can, when you can. And if that means you can replace them with someone better and younger, then great. If not, you've just got to keep what you've got and keep going with them, because look, they keep qualifying. They keep doing it, don't they? There's saying there, the stats there, 4 World Cups for any player is an incredible achievement, but with such a small population, it's amazing.
And then, Maz, they have the brighter stars as well, who are already very established. It's not like there's potential there. You know, when you look at Valverde, when you look at Darwin Núñez, of course, the young stars are established.
Yeah, Valverde's had a fantastic season, hasn't he? I mean, he's been absolutely brilliant, and you expect him to play a key part. I mean, Rodrigo Bentancur as well has been brilliant, and Tottenham clearly missed him, didn't they, when he was out for a couple of weeks earlier this season. Manchester United's Facundo Pellistri in as well, even though he hasn't played a minute for Manchester United this season. So some really interesting young players as well. That blend of youth and experience is what makes this Uruguay team such an exciting one. Really excited to see what attacking options options they have later.
Maz, thank you very much. So Clinton Morrison will be alongside Maz for Uruguay, South Korea. By the way, when we do Brazil-Serbia later, that's Alistair Bruce Ball and Chris Sutton. Although Chris, first of all, needs to get away an appearance apparently on Japanese television this afternoon, which I think will have to be seen to be believed. So we'll keep an eye across Chris's appearance on Japanese television. For now, back to Vicky and Pat and Switzerland, Cameroon.
Thanks very much, Mark. As the players enter the field for the second half, Switzerland are out and ready to go. Cameroon just arriving onto the pitch, playing in their green shirts, green shorts and golden socks. Switzerland all in red, and it will be Cameroon and Choupo-Moting preparing to get us underway. We talked at the end of that first half, Pat, about what attacking substitutes Switzerland could make. We have to say, attacking wise, Cameroon have looked very dangerous at times, but you look at their bench as well, and the name that stands out, Vincent Aboubakar. I mean, they've got so many, but for his experience, and there's a debate about whether he and Choupo-Moting can start together. At the moment, it's Choupo-Moting who's got the nod for this opener as we get underway. Cameroon playing from left to right in this second half, but he's named such an attacking squad. They have so many options, Cameroon, if they want to change it up from the bench for Rigobert Song.
Well, unless they get many problems at the back, because they've got very few defenders on that bench. I think 3 that are out and out defenders on the bench, and considering the games are becoming thick and fast, I think they'll be hoping for no suspensions and no injuries in that back line.
So Cameroon with an early throw down this right hand side, deep in Switzerland territory. 5 will play it to Mbumo down by the corner flag. They're all appealing for it. The decision is goal kick to Switzerland, and Jan Sommer raises a big gloved hand, and the ball will be thrown to him, ready to take this goal kick. So no changes at half time. Sommer in goal for Switzerland, just taking a little bit of a chance there with Choupo-Moting closing down, but does clear up towards halfway. The back 4 for Switzerland are Vidma, Akanji, Elvedi and Rodriguez. Ahead of them it's Freuler and Xhaka, the captain, with Shaqiri, So and Vargas supporting Embolo, who was born in Cameroon himself but has grown up in Switzerland since he was a young boy. Up front, as Switzerland played around outside their own penalty area. Cameroon with Onana in goal. The back 4 of Faye, Castelletto, Nkulu and Noho. Ahead of them it's Ongla, Ungwet and Ongisa, with Mbumo and Toko Akambi, who looked very lively in the first half, supporting Choupo-Moting up front, as Vargas will bring it down the left-hand side for Switzerland, looking to find a route into the penalty area. It's well blocked away at the expense of being a little bit winded there, Brian Mbumo.
And it's out.
It's out for a Switzerland throw. He's all right now. He's moving back towards the penalty area as Cameroon shape up to defend this throw from Switzerland, which is taken short by Rodriguez. Exchanges passes with So, and they'll play the ball back into the centre circle. And Akanji, and you have to say, when you think about the Switzerland chances in that first half, the 2 best ones came to the centre halves from set pieces, Elvedi and Akanji.
Yeah, and you wouldn't be surprised if it's similar in the second half as well, because they do attack the ball well. They are very good in the air, but the delivery has been good.
A little bit of space here as Switzerland build down the right hand side, ball across and Polo, 1-0, easy as you like. Right place at the right time, and he doesn't celebrate exuberantly against the country of his birth, but it's Switzerland's shirt on his back now, and Brel and Bolo put Switzerland ahead against Cameroon, 1-0.
Well, that defence was completely and utterly asleep. That wasn't complicated. The pass through, Shaqiri's actually in the byline, but he doesn't do anything to get there. He just walks into the position. No one's even close to him at that point in time. So they've overcovered far too far when the ball's played over there, and Shaqiri just has to put it into the dangerous area. Nothing complicated, but he does the right thing. He's got the assist and scored by Mbolo, and as you're saying, he didn't make any big celebration, but what it should do is ask the questions, Cameroon, okay, you've come out asleep for the second half, got to wake up now.
Yeah, he just had a little moment there, Brel and Bolo. What a moment for the 25-year-old, scoring at the World Cup, putting his side ahead. And he pointed to the Switzerland fans and then to the Cameroon fans behind the opposing goal as well. But it's Switzerland ahead, and you did say, Pat, that you wanted to see much, much more from Shaqiri, and he's done what we know he can do. He's popped up, he's got the assist. As Cameroon win a free kick on the side.
It didn't have to do a lot. He just had to walk. Massive space that he got in there. But it's about having that bit of quality, and that's what we do say about him. He has got the skill and the quality if you give him space. But he hadn't been given space before that. But in that occasion, it was ridiculous in the opposing penalty area to be given that amount of space to a good player. And by the way, well done doing it with your right foot.
So, free kick to Cameroon as they look to hit back immediately. Taken by the left foot of Mbumo to the far post, headed back across goal. Sommer was in there, got something on it just ahead of Nicolas Zonkulu. And the ball is cleared out for a Cameroon throw on the far side. But Nicolas Zonkulu just causing a few problems in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's the oldest one in the book. This game needed a goal, and it really did need a goal. It's got it early in the second half, so that will liven it up. It will certainly liven the Cameroon team up, who they've done quite well in the first half, but they may well have to make some changes. You know, they may well have to bring on another striker, and because if you start any World Cup with a loss in your first game, you're up against the 8 ball right away.
And Bolo, the goal scorer for Switzerland, is challenged and fouled, says our referee. Cameroon not happy with that at all. I have to say, I didn't see too much wrong with that. He's let play go. In fact, it comes out to this left-hand side. Switzerland taking the free kick quickly as Vargas, little 1-2 down the left-hand side. Now, Jack has gone down, stayed down. Referee saw nothing wrong with that challenge from Collins Fye, and Mbumo won't keep control on the halfway line. Xhaka is still down, and Switzerland are now complaining about that tackle on Granit Xhaka.
Well, they're right to. They're absolutely right. That was a foul all day long. You know, he's just blocked him. He's got nothing in the ball at all. He's actually kicked him and he's blocked him at the same time. It's just whether Xhaka is particularly badly hurt. I suspect he'll be okay, but you never quite can tell. He's complaining to the referee, and rightly so. It was a free kick, but he'll be fine.
Yep, he's up to his feet. His side leading by a goal to nil, and Switzerland taking the chance to come and have a drinks break. A few of their players, not an official drinks break, but a few of their players over on the edge of the technical area in front of their manager Murat Yakin, former Switzerland captain. Never played at a World Cup though. And there was a lovely video of him sending a load of Swiss chocolate to Northern Ireland. That's after Northern Ireland held Italy to a goalless draw to secure Switzerland's qualification. They qualified ahead of Italy for the World Cup, as Mbolo running through again is beaten to the ball by Onana for Cameroon. Yeah, he sent them 9.3 kilograms. That's for the 93 minutes that Northern Ireland held out for, which is quite a nice gesture. But that's why people talking about Switzerland coming into this tournament as well as they did at the Euros last summer, reaching the quarterfinals and then finishing ahead of the European champions Italy in their qualification group, sending Italy into the playoffs. And of course, we all know what happened there. Italy not at this World Cup as Cameroon come down the right hand side, trailing by a goal to nil. Mbumo is fouled by Vargas, and will be a free kick to Cameroon midway through the Switzerland half on the right hand side.
It's a tough one for Rodriguez. He's got himself into a position there where he knows that he cannot allow Mbumo to turn. If Mbumo turns, he's going to do. He's going to just run past him for pace. He doesn't need to do a trick or anything. So he's getting tight to him, and he's giving a foul away there, but that's okay. It's not in the most dangerous area. However, I think Mbumo will be quite happy with that, because it's a kind of, you either get a foul or you go by the defender. Both are okay for you.
So Mbumo plays this in, left-footed once again, looking for the run at the far post. It's well taken by Sommer, but it's notable, isn't it, that they're not keeping Toko Akambi and Mbumo over at set pieces anymore. They're sending the extra body around the penalty area.
And correct, absolutely spot on. That was driving me nuts. I never thought about it in the first half, but in the first half, you're the most skillful players you've got in the team. Send them both out to stand on the corner flag when you're taking it. Madness. And you don't even do any tricksy. You just lump it into the middle then. It was just
Well,
not impressed by that.
It's not like then we see some huge strategic ploy. And I know as a Switzerland player back to Sommer on the edge of his area, I know that sometimes you don't want the opponents to know which player is going to play it in, but you think, well, one of them surely is going to be more dangerous in and around the area of Switzerland. Looking dangerous coming forward. The ball is cut out though before it can reach Vargas and will be cleared away by Faye down the right hand side for Cameroon. Switzerland leading by a goal to nil. Here is Shaqiri, left hand side this time, whips the ball in, it's headed away, picked up by So for Switzerland, and now Vidmer over on that right hand side, that little patch of sunshine that has crept away from the Cameroonian penalty area. It's just shading the very left hand edge, but importantly for Andre Onana, he doesn't have the same difficulty as Jan Sommer did in the first half. His area is all in shade unless he wants to sprint out right to the edge of the left hand side of his box.
And that's what you need to do if you've got these early games. That's something that is always going to happen in these early games. When the keeper's going to suffer, when the keepers is going to get away with it. And by the way, Shaqiri has absolutely turned up. He's finding lots of gaps now, and I think just that little bit of tiredness from some of the defenders, he's actually now getting to find those little pockets of space now and looking a bit more dangerous.
Switzerland pick up possession just outside the Cameroon penalty area. Good sliding challenge by Noho on that far side to stop.
Does he know no other type of tackling?
No. and mostly he's got them spot on, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. But if you go off your feet and you get it slightly wrong, you will get a yellow card. But, well, if that's your style, it's worked for him so far.
So Switzerland leading by a goal to nil here on 5 Live BBC Sounds and across Africa on the World Service.
But we mentioned earlier on, just to say, we said really early on that battle between them two would be important. Well, the reason why they scored is because Shaqiri stood out there where Noho should have been, and he'd switched off just for a few moments, and that's all it needed for Shaqiri. The ball came to him, he only took one touch and put it into the middle, and it was a goal. And it just tiny little things like that can make a difference in a game like this.
Switzerland pick up the ball with Xhaka in acres of space, still inside his own half. Oh, there was good movement there off the Cameroon back line, but Vargas can't keep hold of it. And Nguet will play it over the halfway line. Here come Cameroon with Noho down the left-hand side, with Toko Akambi now forced infield and plays the ball back to Nguet. Cameroon trailing by a goal to nil in this opener in Group G. Forward they come once more with Choupo-Moting, and Bumo is dispossessed. Choupo-Moting into the penalty area, right hand side, down to the byline, still going Choupo-Moting, and Sommer makes the save at his near post. What a run that was from Eric Maxim Choupo-Moting. It's a Cameroon corner.
Well, some people may have saying cross it into the middle. Very good, there's nobody in the middle. He had to keep a hold of the ball. You're right, so perfect there. He's along the byline. There are 6 red shirts around him, but he still causes all sorts of problems, and that's good goalkeeping by Sommer. But it shows you Choupo-Moting, he's not getting enough help at the moment, and at some point Cameroon are going to have to change that and get somebody either right beside him as a 10 or another striker beside him as well.
Well, we've mentioned his brilliant form for Bayern Munich this season, and there was a little glimpse of the skill that he still has at 33 years old. The referee making sure that everything is clear and ready to go in the penalty area, and now again just the one set piece taker it is, and Mbumo for Cameroon to send it into that packed 6-yard box. Big punch from Sommer, the blue figure come flying out of his 6-yard box, sends it out of the penalty area, comes back in, but Sommer will claim and bowl it out underarms. Switzerland leading by a goal to nil, and the space is opening up once more for Mbolo. He's got Vargas ahead of him, and Vargas picks it up right inside of the penalty area, and the ball across, there's no other word for it. It's absolutely shocking.
That looked like a left-footed player trying to kick with his right foot, didn't it? I think that's a problem there. That was awful. He's getting himself into a great position, but his balance was all wrong there. He just needs to slide it across between the goalkeeper and the centre-backs. Didn't manage to do that. Put it straight over the crossbar. Poor, because it was a very good break. And that's maybe the thing about the Swiss. They do seem to have good game management, don't they?
Cameroon trying to build something into the penalty area, cleared away by Switzerland, so we can head for an update from our correspondent John Murray, who is watching England's training.
Yes, Vicky, I'm down here to the south of the city at the Al Wakra Stadium, which is where England are training. The latest training session on the eve of the match against the United States is just about to get underway, and the players have come out in dribs and drabs into the bright, warm sunshine here, and almost the last man out was the captain, Harry Kane, who is there. He will train with England again today. Likewise, Harry Maguire is there. Remember, he was unwell during the match against Iran the other day. Kyle Walker and Callum Wilson are also both out there. So in fact 25 of the 26-man squad are there. It's only James Maddison who is missing again today, and the noise that I'm hearing on that are that it might not be too many more days before James Maddison is. But the main news here at Al Wakra is that the England captain Harry Kane is just walking now into the circle of England players, and he will take part in training today.
Thanks very much, John. Good news for England then. Huge day tomorrow for the home nations. England against the USA and Wales against Iran. Our build-up starts from 6 a.m. in 5 Live Breakfast. Here it is Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0 still, as Cameroon play the ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Rodriguez at the Al Janoub Stadium. And the goal scorer for Switzerland, Mbolo, will pick the ball up, but he's been dispossessed. Here is Anguissa, midway through the Switzerland half, plays it out to the right-hand side, and Mbumo trying to trick his way past Mbolo as he got back to defend for Switzerland, and is forced back now to the halfway line, where Nicolas Nkulu will pick it up, one of 3 players for Cameroon in this squad who have been to a World Cup before, 3rd World Cup for Nkulu, Choupo-Moting, another of those, and of course the man on the bench as well as Choupo-Moting on the edge of the penalty area will lay it off to Anguissa. Cameroon pushing for this equaliser, plays it out to the right hand side, and now swung in by Collins Fight, headed away by Vidmar over on that far side, and Shaqiri will chase it and find space for Switzerland over the halfway line. In field now to Granit Xhaka. Switzerland looking to lead to their 1-goal advantage. Here is Vargas, edge of the area. Good counter this from Switzerland. The green shirts are back though for Cameroon, but they're still finding space. Here is Shaqiri, plays the ball forward, so it's behind. Deflection takes it away from Mbolo, and Cameroon will clear up to Choupo-Moting. That third player, Abubakar, of course, will hope maybe to get on, but it's Cameroon coming forward now towards the penalty area. Onglar is cleared away though.
They're not getting the numbers, are they? They're not getting the numbers. If you're 1-0 down, when you make a break like that, people from the midfield, every player, get forward, try and give them a little bit of support. They're not getting forward quick enough, so it doesn't actually matter who actually gets the ball up there. Sometimes it's Choupo-Moting, sometimes it's Mbeumo. You've got to get up and help your mate. Left totally on his own there, and you know you're not going to win the game unless you take some chances.
Here is Mbolo trying to get in behind the Cameroon back line, which we saw Cameroon do to Switzerland, but Switzerland are doing it now. Vargas into the penalty area, plays the ball across under pressure, and the referee, what's he pointing for here?
Corner, yeah, definitely corner, yeah.
There we go, deflection on the way through from Vargas. Corners to Switzerland.
I think that was quite good defending there, and Nkulu couldn't really take a chance and get in there. You had to time it absolutely spot on. It's one of those ones, if you miss the ball, take the player. It's a stick-on penalty kick, but they're very good, very smart looking. The comfort of the Swiss at the moment is quite impressive. They've not really, put under too much pressure, even in the breaks by the Cameroon team. They've got the 4 defenders there. They've usually got 2 sitting in front of them, so they're not looking in too much danger. However, they do look good on the break.
So Vargas here to take this corner, swung into the edge of the 6-yard box, powerfully headed away for Cameroon by Nkulu, who is screaming at his defenders to move up, to get out, and they do so. They've won the throw on this near side as well. Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and across Africa on the BBC World Service. 18 minutes gone in this second half, and the ball's out of play for a Switzerland throw.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're talking about game management, and the Swiss, they have actually got it sussed here at the moment. The back 4 aren't budging. They're hardly going forward, the 2 full-backs. And then in that middle area, Frowley and Xhaka, I mean, they're scarcely moving off the toes of the centre-backs. So that space of 6 players to break through, at the moment it doesn't. Cameroon don't look even close to getting through there. So that's the time to start thinking, can we make some changes?
Good turn by Choupo-Moting on the halfway line. He was pulled back there. And that will be a free kick to Switzerland and a yellow card as well for Nico Elvedi. Choupo-Moting, you can see his frustration there. It was a decent opening for Cameroon, but Elvedi taking one for the team there, very much so. But this is the problem for Cameroon, because Switzerland defensively, we know how strong they are. They went undefeated through qualifying for the World Cup. They conceded just 2 goals, and again, when you consider that they were in a group with Italy, it's no mean feat.
Yeah, they've got to change. They've got to change that, because, as I say, the comfort of them, you know, they almost look as if they want to just get that early goal and say, right, okay, that's us now. We're where we like to be. We'll not go and chase the second goal. We'll just go and play on the break. We've got good enough players to play on the break. It's absolutely fallen right into the place with what you're explaining, the type of team they are. So when that's happening, and if you're Cameroon, you've got to start adapting it slightly and maybe make 1 or 2 changes. However, they have got a free kick here.
They have, and Switzerland aren't happy because they feel that Brelin Bolo should have had one for an earlier foul, but that was allowed to go by the referee. Cameroon's was picked up, so they have the free kick midway through the Switzerland half, just a little nearer to the halfway line than to the penalty spot, just in from the left-hand side. So Switzerland have shown that they can pose Cameroon questions from set pieces, and they put 2 players on it again.
Yeah, well, that's fine from this sort of distance. They've got enough players up there, but again, that very, very high line that the Swiss are playing, they've really organised it well. I mean, a lot of teams, Liverpool, are famously doing that at the moment.
So Mbumo it is to take the set piece, lifted in, and the header from Ongisa straight into the arms of Jan Sommer.
Yeah, and that is the real joy of the high line. If you do get a head in, it's from about 16 yards out. It's very hard to score a goal with a header from 16 yards.
Switzerland's coming quickly down this right-hand side, ball into the area, it's met by Vargas. Oh, it's a brilliant save. What a save from Onana. Vargas met it well, Onana read it perfectly. It's behind for a Switzerland corner.
Carbon copy of the first goal, absolute carbon copy. So much space down there, and my old mate I was talking about earlier on, Tolo Noho again caught out of possession, but you've got to say Bidmer has been really clever. He's picked and chosen his times when to break. He got into a great area there. Had that gone in, you really couldn't see a way back for Cameroon in this game. They are breaking brilliantly, the Swiss, at the moment.
And they have a corner over on the far side. Vargas is coming short as an option, but it's swung in towards the 6-yard box. Oh, almost an own goal there. Goodness me, and Bolo was in there, but the swing and the miss was from Ongisa, and he had no idea where that was going.
I wonder, Ongisa kind of, you're right, he got it, because Mbolo's sitting there for a tap-in behind him. I think he does know what he's doing. We've underestimated him there. He knew he had to do something special. He got lucky as well, though.
It's one of those, isn't it, as you say, where he's got to get something on it.
Could have been
top
corner.
Anywhere, but otherwise it's got to go to Mbolo. So Switzerland swing the second corner in low. It's cleared away by Mbumo, who then goes down and is fouled inside the penalty area, and that will be a free kick to Cameroon. But yes, you're right, Pat, we have to give credit. He knew he had to do something. The chance was worth taking, given that Mbolo was waiting for his second tap-in of the match, and he got the distance on it.
Yeah, absolutely, and he tried to look cool, and he's capable of looking cool. And Guisa, it has to be said, he's about the coolest looking player in the field just now when he's on the ball. But you know, on your swinger, on your left foot, with the ball behind you, and you know if you get it slightly wrong, it's going into the roof of the net for a World Cup game and probably losing it, getting for your team. So anyway, one of those changes I was asking for is going to happen now, which a wee bit longer than I expected it to take, but it's finally beginning to happen now.
Yes, so the change is being made, and it's one in midfield. Ongala is coming off, and Gael Ondua is coming on. He's barely played for Hanover this season, really struggled with injury, only a handful of caps as well. This is 5th, but he is on, and let's see what this does in terms of possibly just freeing up Ongisa a little bit more. He has drifted forward, drifted back. We'll see how this reshuffles for Cameroon, or
I mean, it's not been a negative system they've had. It's almost been a 4-3, but 3 when they've actually got the ball, the two wide players. But most of the time it's ended up being a 4-5-1. And when it's a 4-5-1 and you're a goal down, it's not good enough. So you've got to ask one of those players. And you never know, it might be, he might do that himself. I mean, he might be the player that gets up there and puts a little bit more pressure on Dua himself.
Yeah, gives him the option. As Cameroon have the throw, and nicely controlled but forced back is Ryan Mbeumo, and now all the way back with Castelletto. Switzerland still leaving Shaqiri up at the moment, just drifting in through the centre, but a triple change about to be made for the Swiss, who lead by a 1-0 midway through the second half against Cameroon, as Ongisa wins the header, played out by Mbeumo, and now to Faye, well marshalled down in that left corner flag area for Switzerland, as Mbeumo will bring it forward once again, but the ball is poor and it's tidied up by Alvedi, and this is the positive for Switzerland, isn't it? Because they're sitting back, Rodriguez isn't worried about being caught on the counter. It's Cameroon who have to worry at the other end, as Freiler plays it out to the right hand side, and Shaqiri's on the move once more. The overlap option is there, the sliding challenge is there as well. Cameroon concede the corner.
They've actually got better and better as the game's gone on with that overlap on the right hand side there. I mean, as the defenders have tired Widmer, he just decides to go on the outside time and again. He doesn't need to do anything complicated. Shaqiri, when he gets the ball, just drives inside a little bit, then lays the full back in, and it's actually effortless getting to that byline when they're playing in the break now.
So Switzerland have a corner. They're going to wait to make the triple substitution until after this set piece, trying to double their advantage against Cameroon, but the corner is poor, to say the least, and goes behind for a Cameroon goal kick. And now here come the changes. So Fabien Frey is the first to come on for Djibril Sow, who hasn't really got into the game so far, and certainly won't now, given that he's coming off. Shaqiri's day is done. He is replaced by the very exciting Red Bull Salzburg player Noah Okafor, who was so impressed against Chelsea in the Champions League this season. So he's on, 22 years old. And the final change, Mbolo is off, and the player that we thought might come on, although Mbolo's got the goal that separates the sides, is on, the experienced Haris Seferovic.
Yeah, I'm not sure that weakens them in any way whatsoever. So, you're happy if you've got a goal. The strikers love that. He's probably thinking to himself, hope we don't get another one so I can get all the headlines. No, I'm sure he doesn't think that way at all. But Seferovic is coming on now, and he'll be looking at thinking, Switzerland have been breaking well. I'll get some chances now between now and the end of the game if they keep on playing that way.
Yeah, the big number 9 through the centre for Switzerland was their joint top scorer at the Euros, got 3 goals in that competition, along with Jordan Shaqiri, who is off the pitch now. So, something for Cameroon to have to contend with on the counter, because that's the way this match is set up now. 26 minutes gone in this second half, and Switzerland, with the goal advantage, happy to sit back, to not expose themselves as they were in that first half on several occasions when the game was more open. But this really suits the Swiss now. Cameroon are preparing to make a double change themselves, and one of those coming on is Vincent Aboubakar. Well, we thought it would only be a matter of time before his introduction, and Kevin Georges Nkudu, the other player, preparing to come on for Cameroon, who trail by 1-0 on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service. They're in possession with Faye, and Mbeumo plays it back to Ongisa, who just lifts the ball forward. It's cleared away by Alvedi, still playing Cameroon now. Alvedi went down there, the ball's gone out for a corner. This is an interesting one, because there was certainly a coming together with Ondua, the Cameroon substitute, and Alvedi. I wonder if Alvedi gets this right or gets this wrong.
Yeah, it's a tough one to actually call that. By the way, just we were talking about earlier on, the substitute, the first substitute come on there, actually has pushed a lot further forward, so that's quite impressive. That's what you had to do, adapt it. So Ondua's pushed further forward, and the changes they're going to make now will probably be quite positive changes as well. So, they've started to do what I thought they should have maybe done 10 minutes ago.
So the changes being made for Cameroon. The two players coming on, Abubakar and Nkudu, and Choupo-Moting is one of those walking off, as is Carl Toko Ekambi. And we have to say for Toko Ekambi, he was really, really dangerous in the first half, but he's faded in this second half. And so they're changing that attacking line, and you can understand why from Rigoberto.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's hard work if you're up there. I think a lot of fans will think, well, wait a minute, do we really want to take one striker off? Would it be better not have to both of them up there? But I don't think the manager feels they can play together well.
Yeah, that's the debate, and it's like for like as Cameroon send this corner in high. It's powerfully headed away by Widmer for Switzerland to the edge of the penalty area. Noho is there on the left-hand side as Cameroon look to recycle ball into the area. It's missed by everybody. Fitters out of the area on this right-hand side, and Bumo will collect for Cameroon, who trail by a goal to nil. Laid back to Fai as they try and unlock that Switzerland defence. On Gisa is up there. It's cleared away at the back by Switzerland, and Cameroon will pick it up though with Castelletto, and it's all the way back with Onana, who's on the edge of the centre circle, the Cameroon goalkeeper.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it doesn't often happen out with a major tournament, but he'll go up for corner kicks near the end if it's 1-0, and so he should do. And he looks like a goalkeeper who would quite enjoy that.
So the ball is out on the far side for a Switzerland throw. Switzerland who lead by a goal to nil as we enter the final 15 minutes here at Al Janoub Stadium. Coming up next for you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds, Uruguay against South Korea with Mas Faruqi and Clinton Morrison. Then we have Portugal against Ghana with Ian Dennis and Matt Upton, and rounded off with Brazil against Serbia with Alistair Breesball and Chris Sutton as Cameroon come down this left-hand side, taking on Widmer, the Swiss right back. It's well won on the edge of the Swiss penalty area. Widmer and Freuler between them will play the ball up to halfway, and they will just try and hold on to possession. Cameroon trying to win it back. The sliding challenge commits the foul, and Okafor is down and wins the free kick for Switzerland, who lead by a goal to nil.
Yeah, Widmer's gone down holding his face. It's one of those ones. I mean, it's a shame that you're never quite sure about it, and the players go down holding their face. Didn't seem to be a huge amount in that. I'm sure he was caught. He was caught in some way, but definitely not deliberate. It's a slap in the face. It won't make you lie down on the ground. Well, it will some. I was going to be really positive about Widmer there, because I thought he's really come on to a game in the second half. He's defended really well. He's got up, and had worked really well to get to the byline a couple of times, choosing his times right to go. I was just going to give him all that, and then he did one of those lying down the ground for 2 minutes after getting a wee smack.
And he's gone out of your good books.
For a few moments, only for a few moments, because actually other than that, he's had a very, very good game. Considering he was put under a lot of pressure early on, and he didn't have the pace, but if you're a full back and the player you're playing against gets taken off, you're generally delighted with that.
Ball goes out of play for a throw to Switzerland, still leading by a goal to nil. Huge day of action on 5 Live for you tomorrow, of course. England against USA, that news that correspondent John Murray brought us earlier. Harry Kane is involved in England training this afternoon. And Wales against Iran. All our build-up starts from 6 a.m. on 5 Live Breakfast. And of course, coverage of every single World Cup match on 5 Live and BBC Sounds across the whole tournament. Cameroon with the free kick just outside the centre circle, trailing by a goal to nil as Onana comes forward, the goalkeeper, and will just play it out to Nkulu, the tall centre half, squares it to his partner Castelletto, out to the right hand side now, and Fai is forced all the way back to Onana. There's no point forcing it, Cameroon. They have to be patient. Almost a great crossfield pass from Onana, switching the play from right to left, but it won't be controlled over on that far side, and Widmer's gone down again. The referee not in his favour this time, but Switzerland do have it. Akanji will play it away as they bring it forward once more, just outside the centre circle now with Granit Xhaka. Pauses before he gets over the halfway line. There's no hurry whatsoever for Switzerland. They have the goal advantage. They force that a little bit towards Fry, and Cameroon can come forward, and they could until they were stopped illegally. And it will be a free kick to Cameroon, and Anana's come racing out of his penalty area to say, look, you get up there, go, get up firstly, get up off the deck, gives his teammate a little push, says go on, get on with it, get forwards.
Well, he's shown the urgency, but I'm not sure enough of the other players are showing the urgency, and I mean, okay, you've run about for 75 minutes, so fair enough, you might be a little bit more tired than the goalkeeper who's standing in his goals. However, he has livened them up, and there's not been enough of that for them since they lost the goal. You thought there would be a massive reaction. Hasn't seemed that way.
Switzerland playing on the counter once more. Vargas well won in the air by the head of Collins Fye, and what a beautiful drag back on the edge of his own penalty area. Oh, that's got the stadium applauding. The Cameroon flags are waving, the reds, gold and green.
That's the best Cruyff turn.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a Cruyff turn in his own box, but under pressure and off balance. You're absolutely right. That's how often do you see in your own area you get applause for the entire stadium for a little bit of skill, and there's no flash at all. It was actually the only way out of the situation, and he did it brilliantly.
So Cameroon coming forward, they've given it away though, and Switzerland have it with Rodriguez, just kept in by Vargas on that left hand side as Rigobert Song stands. The Cameroon manager, hands in his pockets as Switzerland work a bit of space. Okafor's lost out though, and the ball will be spread over by Abubakar, who's taken that captain's armbands after coming on. And Cameroon will switch the play once more from left to right, trailing by a goal to nil. Collins Fye delivers the ball in. Sommer was short, snatched his hands away at the last minute and knew it was going behind, but there's a little bit of an inquest going on in the Switzerland defence because slightly better delivery, and that could have caused them problems.
Exactly. To be honest, they've not been put under a lot of pressure this second half, so at this point in time they're thinking, look, we just need to see this game out. They're very, very good at seeing games out, but yeah, that's why you've got the inquest, because for once they kind of just slightly switched off. I was asking the question early on about who they would make a change with. It's sensible. Vargas is coming off, and I think he's done a lot of work, but not really created a huge amount there, but he has worked very hard. That's about the best you could say of him so far.
And it's Fabian Rieder to come on to make his Switzerland debut. He's got 3 goals for young boys this season, 20 years old, but was a surprise inclusion in this squad for his first major tournament, and he gets to make his debut at a World Cup.
Yeah, and Boomer coming off as well, and it's a shame, for you expected a real break in the second half, but the wide players for Cameroon haven't actually managed, have they? They've not changed it, they've not played particularly well second half. They seem to have run out of gas quite a bit in this second half, and that's a real shame, that, because that looked like their most dangerous area. And since the Swiss have stopped the wide players, they've just looked a bit toothless, haven't they, Cameroon? So they've made the change. See if the 2 wide players now can make a difference.
Yes, what can he do? The man who's come on to replace Mbuma, the Brentford man making his World Cup debut, Nicola Mumi Ngamalu, who actually plays his club football, or used to before leaving in the summer, in Switzerland, a 4-time Swiss champion with young boys. So knows the Swiss style very well, and Switzerland are coming forward once more. The ball into the area, just about dealt with there by Nkulu. It's a good sliding block, just got there ahead of his goalkeeper, who would have smothered it anyway, but he had to slide in there. Nkulu, it's a good interception, and it's behind for a Switzerland corner.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, he was second there. If he didn't do the marking right, it was a very, very unorthodox tackle eventually when he made it. But it shows that the dangers they've got just now, and it's the cleverness of the Swiss, without being really, really flashy. They've really managed this game so well.
So Fabian Rieder on his debut, on to take the corner. It's cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box. Half a shout for handball, big shout for handball by Switzerland on the edge of the area. Cameroon will play the ball away. They're struggling to clear their lines though. Lovely turn by Ongisa, brilliant turn under pressure. He is then fouled, and now Switzerland go to the referee, who's saying, stop, I'm going to book you for dissent or the foul. Not quite clear from up here, but we'll see. But they will look at it, VAR, of course they will.
They will. It would have been harsh. His hand was down by his side, it's fallen way out of the sky. There's been a little nudge. It's one of those where I've seen them given, but not very often. One of those ones, and just a little bit of a trip there. Was it Akanji that came in
Yeah,
Very
Kanji
close,
into
yeah.
the book. And you would presume that would then be for pulling back on Gisa rather than all the dissent that was going on from the Switzerland players who were not happy.
To be honest, when he got his card out there, I thought he showed it at Grand Jacket. You shall see it if the referee decides. But it should have been given, definitely should have been given to Kanji.
Well, that's what's come up in the stadium, so we presume, hopefully, that communication is directly from the referee, but we'll keep an eye, you never know. Cameroon in possession, 6 minutes plus added time to play. They trail by 1-0. Uruguay against South Korea coming up after this match. Our build-up will start after the conclusion of this game, as Switzerland look to get Group G off with a win. Brazil and Serbia to come. They take on each other this evening. That's our evening commentary on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. And Switzerland will allow this to bounce to Akanji right on the byline, and he will allow the ball to trickle behind. And Switzerland hope that they're nearly there. 6 minutes plus added time to play. They lead by 1-0.
Well, they are nearly there. And the problem that you've got if you're Cameroon now, if you lose this, if you suspect you're not going to beat Brazil, you probably lose to Brazil as well. If you don't get a goal between now and the end of the game, there's a fairly good chance your competition's finished. There really is a fairly good chance that you ain't going through the group stages. So that's why at this point in time I'm saying they've got to throw everything at it. This could be the most important moments of the tournament for Cameroon, and you know they're making an effort, but you know I just expected that bit more from them.
Okafor's ball over the top, looking for the run of Reader, and Anna reads it well and comes out to the edge of his box and collects. Yes, they were so bullish before the tournament. Cameroon, Rigobert's song saying the aim is at least the semi-finals. Impossible is not Cameroonian. And Samuel Eto'o, the Cameroon legend, currently president of their football federation, very clear. He says they'll win the World Cup final against Morocco. He's got it all planned out. As Mark Chapman was telling us earlier, you don't need to be monsters or aliens, says Eto'o. You just need good preparation, a strong mentality and a pinch of madness. Well, what they need at the moment is an equaliser in their opener against Switzerland, as Rodriguez goes down and belatedly the flag goes up under pressure from Mumi Nagamalu.
You can see the frustration, you know, they're not really creating that many chances. They're not going by that Swiss defence, and it is the reason why they're a comfortable side. It's a reason why they win games. They quite often win games by the odd goal. As you mentioned earlier on, they get a lot of clean sheets as well. And when you watch them like this, you're just not surprised by that, are you? It's just not surprising because it's a well-drilled side. And it's not the nastiest thing you can say to a team, but you know where the weaknesses are if you say it's well-drilled. It means that there's not enough flash, and you wonder how far that can actually take you in a competition.
Ball over the halfway line for Cameroon, headed away by Elvedi. Switzerland do have both of their centre-halves on yellow cards. That's just one thing to watch for them going into the final stages of this game, as Collins Fye digs the ball out from deep in the right-hand side, headed away well by Vidma, out for a Cameroon throw over on that far left-hand side.
Yeah, he's got past his player, but that sort of cross with, you know, that high, I mean, unless your name's Marco van Basten, you ain't going to be scoring with that at the back post.
Cameroon in possession with Ondua, and in field now to Umguet. The ball is lifted into the area, but it's poor, and it's left by that Switzerland back line.
They don't look as if they believe, do they? You just look at the body language of the Cameroon players, and a couple of them are saying, like, come on, a few turning round, trying to get excited. Their fans are trying to get them going as well. But I'm looking at Ondua more than anyone else to say, come on, we have to lift this. He seems to understand the importance of these moments. You've got 2.5 minutes plus, well, probably 20 minutes injury time, but we've got that left, and you could be almost out of the World Cup already.
Ongisa dispossessed as Switzerland come forward. One goal would surely seal it now as Switzerland look to double that advantage. Good interception on the edge of the penalty area by Castelletto, and the ball is cleared away. But again, as Pat says, it is just the lack of urgency of getting the green shirts forward.
No, it really looks quite disjointed there. It's not a team that's organised and structured to work together, particularly at the moment.
And Granit Xhaka has it for Switzerland. He'll try. Good save by Onana. Read it well. Got down low. Xhaka was aiming for the bottom corner. Onana bowls it out for Cameroon. Switzerland still lead by 1-0. 2 minutes plus added time to play.
Yeah, and I mean, he's come on. Aboubakar's come on, and he's held the ball up well. He's done all the normal striker things. He didn't seem, by the way, the keeper is not the most deepest player playing on the ball. He's the fourth deepest player.
Yeah, he's just gone past his back line, which are shaping up as a 3 at the moment, and gone, look, if you're not going to take it forward, I am. He's out of his penalty area now as Switzerland go, oh, well, we might as well put the pressure on. But
he gets it.
Exactly.
He gets it. He understands where they are just now. He understands the importance of this. Yes, it's the first game, but you're already running out of chances. I've been in situations like that during finals.
Fires ball into the area, flicked on, cleared away by Widmer for Switzerland and helped on by Fabian Frey. Picked up once more by Cameroon as they look to build. Here is Abubakar, the captain, ushered away from the penalty area. And Switzerland will pick up possession, and Switzerland will slow the play down. The green shirts are surrounding them, but they're knocking it around nicely, Switzerland. They do give the ball away though. Ondua will collect just inside the Cameroon half into the final minute of added time. Switzerland still lead by a goal to nil on 5 Live, BBC Sounds and across Africa on the World Service.
Do you know, sometimes you say the last few minutes you think, oh, you know, they'll get one chance. Not convinced with that. Absolutely, they might, but they don't look as if they're going to fashion a chance just now, Cameroon. They just haven't had that sophistication about their game and that belief about their game. Well, Rodriguez, who I think he's done incredibly well at left full back in this game. He's going to be taken off now. The reasons why he's done so well is because at the start of the game he looked as if he was going to be torn to shreds, because every time they just put the ball behind him and he just didn't have the pace to get back there. But he's actually used to his intelligence as the game's went on, and I'm very, very impressed with that. He's done really well to stay on it.
So we are entering 6 minutes of added time as that substitution is made. Eray Gemert coming on for Switzerland, and Switzerland have just 6 minutes to see out this victory. And we mentioned their defensive prowess as they have the ball just inside the Cameroon half. It's a real hallmark. Something else that is a hallmark for Switzerland as well is they don't tend to lose World Cup openers. 1966 you have to go back to for the last time that Switzerland suffered defeat, unbeaten in all 5 of their World Cup opening matches since then, and heading for victory unless Cameroon can A, get hold of the ball, because Switzerland have it on the halfway line, B, fashion a chance, and C, take it.
There was a brilliant moment there. Chimert has just come on and played at left full back. He got the ball, played it in his jacket and made a run forward, and Xhaka turned around and went, where are you going? Get back there, we don't need you forward, we need you at left back. We don't need to take chances just now, as if, get with the programme, mate, we don't do that. And it was a shock in Granit Xhaka's face when he actually, the fullback tried to overlap. He said, are you mad?
Well, here he is, Granit Xhaka. He does go forward out to the right-hand side and continues his run.
Look at Chimert now. He's nailed to the back line.
He's not moving out of his half. He's been told. And when Granit Xhaka tells you,
right.
You stay told, don't you?
Yeah, but he's absolutely right. Don't take a chance. Don't leave a gap there. You know, if you do that and run forward and try to be exciting, especially the Swiss way, I mean, they've got the bolt back there and they do not want to leave that open.
90 seconds of the minimum 6 added minutes has been played. Switzerland in possession. Here is Xhaka. He will go over the top looking to release Okafor. Very well covered at the back by Nolo, who slips. He can't keep it in. Onana is over there pulling him to his feet, but that was important covering there, because Okafor has pace, he has precision, and he almost got in there.
He almost got in there. I mean, no, to be fair, first of all, he's done brilliantly to get back, showing great pace. He looks quite tired when he was getting there, but then slide tackled the ball out. But he always slide tackles, we know that.
Got to put it in somewhere in the move, hasn't he?
Slide tackles. Okay, he slipped, but it looked like a slide tackle out. And that's the last thing that Cameroon needed just now, because if he could have kept that in play, they could maybe try to build another attack. They've not been able to do that, and they don't seem to get any head of steam up at all, Cameroon. And I think their fans will be a wee bit disappointed, even though it's only a goal just now.
Yep, Switzerland have played it, perhaps unsurprisingly, all the way back into their own half from that corner. They come forward now though with Freiler, who picks it up. They won't pass up the chance to get this second goal that would finish off this match. 3 minutes of added time to play. Switzerland leading by a goal to nil, and that's the frustration for Cameroon. They had chances, good chances in the first half, but the energy, and it's not just the energy, it's the cohesion, the connectedness And also the impetus that we've mentioned time and time again, but that's because it is so striking that it's only 1-0. Switzerland, yes, they're much more comfortable sitting back and waiting for Cameroon to try and break them down, but the energies, and look, Anana's coming forward again. I mean, he's still the furthest player back, but he's midway through his own half. Get forward. I think he thinks, if I get closer to you, you're going to have to move forward and move us down the pitch, as Switzerland's still possession on the far side.
He's actually down for a corner kick, isn't he? He wants to get up there, and I kind of want to give him a chance because he's shown such willingness to get forward. I can't believe I'm saying that about a goalkeeper, but he has shown that.
Castelletto, though, getting forward from the back. Switzerland with the header, nervy one inside their own area, but Jan Sommer does very well. Applauded by 6 or 7 of his teammates there. Comes to the edge of his 6-yard box. 2 big gloved hands reach out and pluck the ball from the sky.
And he has looked very good, hasn't he? You know, when the ball's gone near Sommer, you think, no, that's not going to drop, that's going to stick. He's reading the play has been absolutely superb all the way through this, so he will come off. He's not been put under a lot of pressure, it has to be said. The quality of crosses haven't been great, but any questions, however serious they've been, he's answered them easily.
Ball out of play for a Switzerland throw over on the far side. We're into the final 2 minutes of added time on 5 Live, BBC Sounds, and across Africa on the BBC World Service. But it looks as though it is going to be defeat for the side that finished 3rd at this year's Africa Cup of Nations. The targets is ebbing away as Switzerland look to finish this off inside the penalty area. Excellent covering block from Jean-Charles Castelletto. Oh, that's a goal-saving block. Switzerland with the opportunity to finish it off, and Cameroon survived. They still trail by 1-0, but Seferovic hasn't had too many opportunities since coming on. He keeps his calm in the area. It's a brilliant block from Castelletto. It's behind for a Switzerland corner. It could and perhaps should be 2-0 Switzerland were it not for brilliant defending.
They've got a corner and they're trying to slow it down now. They just know how to understand how to play this game. And they've left 2 up, actually. I look at Cameroon just now. 2 up the pitch. And at this point in time, there's no point in leaving 2 up the pitch. You leave 3 or 4, you might as well just take every chance in the world that you possibly can do, because by the time the goalkeeper takes it here and everyone gets forward, and by the way, he doesn't want to take it because he's not want to pass it to now. There's been a lot of mistakes, it has to be said, by the Cameroon team, but I do put it down to a real disjointedness about the team. That more than anything else. They've not really worked well together. They've not created chances by, intricate passing in any way. They were going long ball early on, but the Swiss were gobbling that up. And as soon as you took Choupo-Moting off, it was never going to work.
And it has not worked for Cameroon. It has worked for Switzerland. They have won by 1-0. Brel Mbolo, born in Cameroon, but scoring for the country to which he moved as a youngster. His goal early in the second half is the difference, and as the players exchange handshakes now, it's job done for Switzerland. Their game plan worked perfectly after scoring. Cameroon, well, they've got to come up with more answers.
Yeah, it's a real shame because the expectation was for more from them. I mean, they're playing against a team who are past masters at doing this, and they did it very, very well. And there are little moments, and I certainly thought maybe in the first half, the first part of the first half, I thought Cameroon were really shading it. They were getting into dangerous areas, they were exciting, but they almost ran out of gas, and they certainly ran out of ideas. They definitely ran out of ideas as the game developed. And Switzerland will be happy. They're not absolutely through. They've got obviously Brazil. They'll need to face up to them, but I think it's looking almost like the Brazil-Serbia game will be the decider in this group. And I think right now, shame though it may be, Cameroon will have to do something unbelievably special to get to through the group stages. But they worked hard, but they were second best eventually.
And that is why it is finished. Switzerland 1, Cameroon 0.